That would be because I accidentally turned the mic off. Because I'm smart. Ahoy, dude. Ahoy, hoy. And welcome everyone to Broadside Gaming with me, Zug, your host. And tonight, we're working on heavy intercessors. As you can see, I've already laid down some base layers on them. Just to block in most of that mid-tone that we want. And yeah, so we've just got a bit of tidying up to do, then we can start washing. Cool. Cheers for that, Frost. Yeah, I accidentally muted it when I was trying to make sure the camera wasn't picking up audio again. So we're just making sure all that green is blocked in how we want. So this is what we're using as our base for the Dark Angel's armor, but we're also needing to block in a little bit more of the brown. So we're using Curious leather from Two Thin Coats. And Frost, do shout if the audio goes weird at all, man. YouTube's still being a bit off, so it might try and do something at some point, but hopefully it won't. As you can see, just in there, a little bit of a belt I've missed. Let me just fill that back in. And any sort of overlap we've had from any of the other colours. This is all going to get a bit messy because it's sort of, you know, still the base layers, but as long as we've got them to kind of where we want it, that's sort of what we want. Just check the belts. So for some reason, Dark Angels have brown belts. So we're just going to do that before we touch the armor up, in case we get any spillage. So how are we all doing this evening? I'm glad it sounds good, man. I had a little tinker with it before the stream just to make sure it was behaving itself. So these guys are a bit more chunky than what we're working on the other day. These are heavy intercessors instead of just your bog standard normal ones. That I could do with just a little bit. Right, that's looking all right. I mean, there's a bit of belt there, but you can't really see it, so I'll just go in like that, just so it has a hint of it in there. Now, who are you wondering? Yeah, not doing too bad. I mean, I'm just glad it's behaving itself tonight, because Tuesday was just not a great way to start a stream. It's not a huge amount of brown on these ones, it's just belts mostly, just making sure I've actually hit them all. Yeah, that was needed. Just touching up slightly. Cool, that's the browns done. Right, now we're going to go around and carry on doing what we're doing with the armour. Let's just make sure that's in the right position. Cool. Yeah, it's just looking for anywhere that's sort of slightly discoloured while we're doing the other layers. So just in there. Just around the Aquila. And there's just a few bits and pieces around the legs where we've got the silver on, and it's spattered a bit. Any more for any more? I think we're right for the moment. Just work our way down the line. And then once this is dried, we're good to go with the washing of the armour. Just a little bit down there. These are very minor sort of touch-ups I'm having to do. It's just easier to do them now than once you've got all the layers on and you suddenly realise it's slightly the wrong colour. We are going to dry brush after the wash, so a lot of this other detail is going to get clipped with green. But the way we've done it, because we've strengthened the base layer, we can just touch it up very quickly afterwards with the original colour to bring it back out again. And it's just easier doing that than having to try and layer up after doing all the dry brushing. That's good. Knee there. A little bit there. tiny bit around the hand. Oh yeah, these are all heavy bolters for they're heavy intercessors, so they've got like just massive carbine versions of the standard bolter. Carbine, something like that. So we're just checking around just to make sure there isn't any glaring mistakes before we move on to the next little bit. There's a little bit of spillage on the black there. Let's just see if we can get in there. There we go. No doubt there'll be more spillage later, but it's just easier to do it at this stage to make sure there's no glaring mistakes. Just makes it very irritating later on. I realised I'd painted the belt buckles wrong on most of them. The belt buckles meant to be green, not silver, so I've gone through on the old ones I was doing the other week and changed them. Yeah, it's a weird old heavy bolter, that. Like with hoses running off of it. I assume it's kind of like a minigun where it uses gas or something to power the actual spin up. Something like that. But it is a bit of a weird design. Yeah, that guy seems to be mostly alright. It's the other sergeant. How are we looking, Sarge? Just a little bit down there on the hand. Right. A bit of silver splattering, but that's alright. Weird discoloration on the knee there. Shoulder looked a bit weird, so we just... What's that? No, we picked it off now. Weird lumpy bit on there. It's ready for a wash now. Oh yeah, I wouldn't try and apply any sort of logic to Games Workshop models. It's like, I really like the heavy intercessors. So that's a heavy one, and there's a normal one. So the heavy intercessors are in like Gravis armor. But also, I don't understand really the pipes. I don't know what they do. But, you know, who are we to argue? So where's my wash gone? Yes, okay, apologise for the noise for a moment. Make sure it's not completely split, so we're going with the classic Nuln oil. So this is getting an all-over wash. I'm not going to do the weapons or anything yet, so we're just focusing on the armour. So we'll wash all of the armour, apart from the crest, sort all that out, and then work up from there. I learnt from last time. I've done the crest now, because even when I dry brush, yeah, it's going to get some green on it. But because I've already blocked it in, it will only take one slight going over just to fix it back up again, instead of having to do all of the armour, make everything look nice, and then go, shit, I need to do the Aquila, and have to like jab in, and it was very annoying. They are apparently plasma weapons. So they're technically plasma, according to the law. Just gonna give those a minute just to dry a little bit more. We will be working on these guys as well tonight. They are almost done, but as you can see, I need to actually, while they're drying, let's do just a little sit about doing nothing. Sort the belts out. Get done with my brush. Oh, brush, where art thou? So as you can see, the belt buckles are changing colour from silver to green. So we're just going to block those in while we're waiting for the heavy intercessors to dry. And we'll throw a bit of wash on them later. Oh yeah, there's probably something weird like that it's doing. I mean, you can barely even see that belt buckle, but just for completionist's sake. Oh yeah, flaming weapons are absolutely ridiculous. But Games Workshop do love their plasma. Though I do like it throughout most of the Warhammer history and sort of gameplay. There was a really good chance of you killing your own model if you're using it. You can't even see his buckles. So like plasma weapons and stuff were super dangerous to use. The shoulder insignia came out nice though. Bit difficult to see under this light, but yeah, if you try to overheat the plasma weapons, there is a chance, like if you roll a 1, they used to just explode and instantly kill the model holding them. It was quite funny. These haven't got any edge highlight on them yet, so they still need a bit of... These aren't completely done. They're just almost done. Let me just set those aside for a moment to let those dry as well. Yeah. There's loads of flaming weapons in Age of Sigmar and the Old Fantasy. They do seem ridiculously dangerous though. I'm really happy with how these intercessors have turned out. I'm glad I put the pouches and stuff on them. The brown really helps them to, you know, break up some of that green. Here's the old sergeant. Who's slightly fancier shoulder. I mean, I still need to add a little bit of a glow effect to the weapon. And do it with highlighting, but he's basically done. Sergeant, point us. I mean, all of the sergeants seem to be... They do love pointing. And they're all pointing at something, like, that one, I want that. Over there, that bit. Right. Mostly dry. Right, let's get washing these things, shall we? Just find my paint well that's not absolutely covered in shite. Will do. Let's make sure it's not too on the camera, because the camera does get very upset if it can see a paint well. Just move that over there a bit. So just grabbing some of the Nuln Oil, a good old dropper. Just because I don't like painting out of the pot with these things, because they do tend to they do tend to tip over if you're not careful, and I'm not careful. I doubt we'll need all of this I've put in there, but right, we just pick a spot and we start washing. And these are probably going to take quite a while to dry, so we'll switch over when these are, while these are sitting, and do some highlighting on the intercessors. It's a chunky old models, so they're going to take a little bit longer to wash and dry out. Make sure we get into all those deeper recesses. You want to be quite careful going around the Aquila though, because I don't want to buck it up that much if I can avoid it. It's bound to get some on it, but just want to be as careful as I can around it. There's lots of like joints and plates and all sorts of bits and pieces on this, which is hopefully going to work quite well with the dry brushing. It'll allow me to like pick up some of the detail quite well. They're quite chunky, these. Towards the end, we'll go through and actually do a pin wash of some rattling grime, just to add a little bit more. Much on the brush. Just need to slot a little bit in there. Right. One down, 9 to go. Do apologise if I'm swaying off of the camera a little bit. Some of these angles I've got to get this into. It's just a bit weird. Bit too much there. Just drag that back onto the brush and try and move it around a bit. Right, that's the legs done. This side of the body. Nice amount under there to add some shading. Into this arm. So models like this, I really do appreciate the amount of random sort of lumps and bumps they put in to break up the weird smooth edges. So there's not just like big flat panels. There's still a lot of flat areas, but not as many as there used to be. I know it looks like I'm putting loads and loads and loads on, but I'm actually just dumping it and then slowly spreading it out because I don't want it pooling up in any one area. Some areas I actually do want it to be quite dark. Just trying to be a little bit careful around here. So when this is done, we will be going over it with several passes with the old dry brush. And we'll be working our way, basically we'll bring in the mid-tone again. So we'll start off straight with the mid-tone, which is Wavering Green. And then gradually work our way up to Emerald Green in a few different passes of mixture. So 50-50 Wavering with Emerald, then 25-75, and then finally a very light pass with just pure Emerald Green. And then once the model's basically done, we'll go in with a proper edge highlight and just hit the crispest edges. The most crisp edges, I should say. I think crispus is the real word, though it should be. This old non oil really does darken this down. Don't worry, we will be putting the green back into it. I mean, you could use something like Bellitan green or Beltan green to do this, but it makes it look a bit misty. I mean, it doesn't give. It's not really. It's not a stark contrast, but it doesn't. The shadow doesn't look right. Giant fat off backpack wash. How many packed lunches do you think you fucking gets in that thing? Look at it, it's massive. It's ludicrously huge. A little bit more down that bit. A little bit there. Got a little bit of pooling going on, but that's all right. So they've already darkened down quite nicely. They do and they don't. So there are, in some of the books, basically any waste bodily product, so you know, all the normal ones are broken down and fed to them in the suit. When they're not in the suit, they do tend to eat just normally. Especially if you read like the Space Wolf books and stuff, you know, they're always feasting and things. And there are some books that talk about dark angels, that planetary governor feasts and things where they're eating like the rest of them. And but I think when they're on crusade or fighting, yeah, the suit just kind of does it for them. Also, they don't really need to eat all that much. Could be wrong though. There might be other lore out there that counteracts what I've just said. That's the thing with Games Workshop. They don't actually retcon. They don't tend to retcon. They just stop mentioning something until it fades from memory. But they never say, yes, this is absolutely 100% true, or no. They just kind of leave it all just to confuse people. the ridges on this. I'm quite looking forward to dry brushing these, and I really enjoy heavy intercessors. I think they're very cool models. I like the Gravis armor, which is what they're wearing. It's sort of in between tactical armor and Terminator armor. Let me look in. Haven't missed anywhere. That's a good point. I'm not actually sure what the Adeptus Mechanicus is. I'm assuming it's just some sort of nutrition paste that they slurp on. I was going to ask you guys' opinion as well. What do you think of Hobby Hangout as the kind of because the broadcast is generally what we call it going live. But I'm thinking Hobby Hangout as the sort of playlist name. Sort of throw it out to you guys and see what you think. I was basically going to use that as the tag for the I'll say series, but when I stick all this in a playlist, that's what I'm thinking. I should really paint some Adeptus Mechanicus at some point. I have an AdMech army, I just don't know where it is. I assume it's upstairs somewhere. They're very fiddly models though, very small, lots of detail. But I do like them. In those pouches. Missed anything on the legs? Oh, missed that bit. Yeah, I'm just not sure. They're both good. I'm just thinking. Just trying to think of like a catchy tag, really. Because it's all about being clickbaity and stuff, and having that sort of hook, which I really hate. But it's just it's how the fucking game's played on here, really, isn't it? And while I do much prefer Zug paints, it's like I've got to think, if no one's actually aware of us, like, oh, who's this dickhead Zug, eh? So, oh, that's me. I'm Zug. Just be careful being around this. No doubt I'll have to touch the Aquila up a little bit, but as long as I don't smother it, it's fine. I'm sure we've hit the underneath. I've just been mulling on. Yeah, I mean, most people don't tend to. Tags are more for us to be able to like hang on to keywords. Like if somebody types in like Dark Angels paint scheme or how to paint Dark Angels or painting guide, like in the tags for this video, I've got all of that. So it should, and that was if YouTube didn't hate Uganai to the core, get us indexed into anyone searching for that sort of thing. And giving it a fun, cool nickname like Hobby Hangout, people be like, oh, who are these cool and crazy guys? And, you know, that's how it is kind of supposed to work. But as I said, it also relies on YouTube not hating us to the core. And we end up just being some sort of Sisyphus rolling that fucking 980 up that hill for the rest of our lives. Gonna wash me some elbows. Oh yeah. Yeah. Also, do shout if the music's too loud. I have fiddled with Pretzel Rocks a bit more so that it's not so irritating. Because it does like to jump the volume up randomly on different songs. So if it does get irritating, please let me know and I'll give it a poke. Because I can't stand it when the volume's weird on people's videos. It really puts me off. And watch his little face. Ooh, just missed in there. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Sorry, I got to remember. Well, I keep trying to remember that the actual screen that the chat's on is behind me. But yeah, hobby in the title does try and indicate it more than just sort of canvas painting sort of thing. Yeah, I think we're limited to is that 500 characters for tags, so we literally can't just add every single tag in the world. It was like an American Horror Story soundtrack if it was synthwave, and I was just like, this is unpleasant. This is not conducive to, you know, hanging or hobbying. I'm actually doing 2 squads of heavy intercessors at the moment. They come in squads of 5. I'm doing 10 of them. That's why it's taking a little bit longer just to run through these. Trying to think what we've got coming up next after these and the other intercessors are done. I've got 10 Hellblasters to do with plasma guns, or I could do 3 Eradicators and 3 Eliminators. Oh, I might do those next, actually. Some snipers and some heavy weapons. That'd be quite cool. I'll do both squads. There's only 3 in each squad, so there should be 6 models. It's not exactly an overwhelming amount to paint. But the Eradicators are very much like these, just with melter guns. Big chunky boys. And the Eliminators are the stealthier versions with like cloaks and stuff. Get to paint a lovely bit of cloth. I haven't done any cloth for ages. Wash in there very delicately. Make sure we've hit the arms. Just got to go underneath this one. Yeah, that was a bit much when he did that. Yeah, I think I'll do the Eliminators and the Eradicators next. That sounds fun. I mean, I'll probably still be painting these on Sunday, so I've still got quite a lot of work to do on them. It's like we're literally on the first wash stage. There's many stages of dry brushing, highlighting, pin washing, and all sorts to go on them. But I do tend to work on this stuff off screen as well, because otherwise I wouldn't get anything fucking done. Like with drying times, and also me second guessing myself continuously. I'm very indecisive, but also very impertinent. So I don't know what I want, but I know that I want it now. Let's make sure all this is lovely, lovely, lovely and covered. These wires are a bit annoying. I think they're going to be a ball ache to deal with when I'm dry brushing. Yeah, we'll work around it. We always do. And we've got some tanks to paint as well. And a couple of dreadnoughts. So we've got 2 repulsors to paint. 3 or 4 lancers to paint. which are the smaller tanks, and 2 dreadnoughts. So we've still got quite a lot to do for the Dark Angels army. Back cupboard. And 2 more to go. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to have a slurp of coffee. Why is my phone buzzing? Hang on, let me grab. So, let me just. So that's a Lancer. So it's kind of like a hovering rhino. Well, it's like it's the Primaris of the Predator tank. I would grab the repulsor as well, but it's it wouldn't fit on the fucking screen. But we'd be going for about an hour now if I could just, you know, say to folks, if you are enjoying the content on the channel, if you could like, subscribe, ring that little bell for notifications, it really does help us out. You know, it shows us what content you like. And it also, you know, feeds our ego into making more. Right, let's crack on with a bit more washing. And then once we're done washing these, we'll go over to the intercessors and we'll do some edge highlighting while these dry, because they're going to take a little while. With the size of them, it might take them another half an hour or so to dry, because they're chunky boys. But I really am enjoying painting these. When I first saw the Gravis armor, I was like, "Oh, I don't know about that." It's a bit weird. I started fiddling about with them. I was like, actually, yeah, I quite like these. They are going to need a fair bit of layering, though. Yeah, this side out. So I was just losing where I had actually washed. And the rim. little bit in there. Just try to be very careful not to hit the aquila. So it's not a big problem if we do. We can just strengthen that back up with a bit of vampire fang later. Because no matter what anyone says, even the best painters make mistakes while they're painting. It's just having the confidence and the know-how to fix it. And it's usually just by doing the exact same thing you did to it before. Just carefully. A little bit more around the bottom of the feet, just add some more shadow. And up it down there. Just get rid of any of that nasty pooling. So we don't want coffee staining or anything on this. All right. I mean, I kind of want an airbrush, but also I can't be asked because it's not just the price of them. You know, for a decent setup for an airbrush kit, you're looking probably about £500, $600 or $700, like on a really nice compressor and a brush and all the shit that goes with it. It's just I don't have the space for it. I don't really like how they look in the end, like airbrushed stuff. It all looks a bit, sorry, it all looks a bit pastely to me. So I just can't be bothered. It would make doing some things like so much easier. So I definitely get why people use them, and I've watched people use them to really great effect. I can't be asked. And it annoys me when you go to look up painting guides and stuff. They're like, oh yeah, just bang out your professional grade airbrush and, you know, just do this. It's like, yeah, but somebody's just getting into the hobby, unless they already have an equivalent hobby that already requires them to have an airbrush, they're probably not going to have one or have any idea how to use it. And no one actually talks about with airbrushes. It's not, you don't just buy one and you're instantly good at using it. They're tricky to use, you know. It's not just like, oh, I've got an airbrush now I can do amazing Golden Demon equivalent paintings. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Kind of have to learn how to use it. I just can't be asked. I've used them in the past, and you know, they're all right. They make doing yellows and bones and things very easy because you can just apply it in one very even coat with the airbrush. But other than that, it's just like, eh. But if it is your jam, you know, go for it. Use an airbrush. You hobby exactly how you want to hobby. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But people do need to stop chasing this weird idea of perfection, because it does not exist. Right. I think a little bit under that. Yeah, I think they're washed. Right. That's that done for the moment. Oh, I get what you mean. Right, so it's time to add a little bit of highlight into this guy. So we're going in with some emerald green. Do some small edge highlighting, and then we'll mix some ethereal green into it, but not very much. The most we'll do is a 75-25 mix, because it's a weird green. The jump will be awful, to be honest. Well, if it doesn't exist, Frost, you should definitely rush out and patent it right now. Make your millions. Right, there's my mixing brush. So we're using emerald green as our highlight. Mix some up on the palette. Add a tiny dab of water to it. You don't want this too runny though. It'll just look shit. Right, what am I going to use for highlight? Let me use this one. So we are using a Artist Opus Series M because it's short and stubby. It's kind of what I want at the moment. Right, we're just going to check on the back of our hand how consistency is. Consistency's looking all right. We're just catching these top edges here. Remember, if you can, always use the side of your brush. But on something like the fingers, you can't really. Oh, that's quite a good idea for us. Quickly patent it before someone steals it. Might use a slightly different brush for this. What size is that? That was a 0. Where's my 0 in the S series? slightly too big. Oh, easy. Sorry, I just punched my microphone again. Let's try this. These aren't going to be like massive edge highlights. I prefer mine a little bit more subtle. And always remember, move the model into weird positions, not your paintbrush. It's much easier to maneuver the model than it is the paintbrush. Sure, that's on camera and I can actually brace my hands for it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't already a thing. Got to repoint this. There's like a weird hook at the end of it. So I'm not going to do every fucking edge on this model, just drips and drabs here and there. Just try and make it pop in random places. This sort of bit takes me the longest. My hands are quite unsteady these days. But I also do find it quite satisfying. Boy, dude, aren't you supposed to be holidaying? Not crapping up my live stream. Oh yeah, I've been telling people you're just sitting around with a coconut full of rum. All right, maneuvering this around and catching edges. Sorry, I am having to sort of lift and drop and as I'm going. Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that, man. The theme park trains are all theme parky. Honestly, I'd just say bite the bullet and Uber it. I mean, there's still more highlighting that needs to be done, but that's generally the idea. Yeah, I know, man, but it's a toss up between a hefty Uber price or 18 hours of rail replacement bus services. Oh, fair enough. I have seen in some parts, man. It's pretty bad. Actually, got a cunning idea. Where's my red grass brush? Whippy little fella. Lovely red grass brush. Very thin. Great point. Yep, catch later, dude. We will carry on with the exciting journey of edge highlighting. Just gonna slowly work my way around, just hitting the points that I want. Unlike some people, I'm not going to highlight every flat surface on this goddamn model because it's not how light works. Just on the crispest lines, we'll. Crispus! It's like Krampus, but happier. A lot of people think edge highlighting is very, very, very difficult. It's not. It's just slow. You just need to take your time. And if you do fuck it up, just paint over it. God no, don't. I don't like to think about edge highlight Marine. He makes me sad. It's a hair being uncooperative in this brush. Keeps popping out and just dragging itself along where it wants to. Unhelpful. Losing my patience with you, brush. We have to fiddle with that. It's on the wonk. And not exactly what I need right now. I need something a little less wonky. We'll just go back to the Art Opus ones. So it's my fault. I've probably damaged the brush at some point and not cleaned it properly. Brow. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to go crazy with the highlights because I prefer them to be a bit more subtle than most. Also, I'm not doing the belt buckle at the moment because I need to wash it and actually add some depth to it. It's very one-dimensional at the moment. I mean, you could probably do a little bit more in other places, but getting there. God. It upsets me so much that he's become a fixture of the channel. I mean, he's getting there. Let's move on to another one. Also, if you are having trouble with edge highlighting, like you don't know where it should go, I'm using an overhead light. So I'm literally highlighting where the light is naturally catching. And also sort of the high points between armor panels. Just remember, it's never going to be perfect. The pursuit of perfection can drive a person crazy. Just do your best and learn from it. Thank you very much, Frosty. This is why you're unpaid, uncredited producer. And honestly, people, if you didn't want to wear highlight and just wanted to dry brush, you could have quite happily left these where I had them before. Because, you know, just do it how you want to. They're your models. Don't you let anyone tell you how to play your toy soldiers. Do it however you like. I'm a masochist. I quite enjoy edge highlighting. Just adds a bit of pop to places. Also, that's also a totally legitimate way of getting rid of it if you fuck it up. Just wipe it off. I'm doing these in incredibly thin streaks, so if it goes wrong, I do have a few seconds just to get rid of it. I was talking about that, wanting to put bloody highlight marine and everything. I hate him so much. Goddamn highlight marine. Ruins everything. Yeah. Brush splayed out a bit there. Yeah. Go back over that in a minute with a little touch of waving green. Do apologise for the weird angles. Angry eyebrows. I mean, you can really make these just as subtle as you want. Like, if you want to go for heavy highlights, go for heavy highlights. Up to you. Heavy highlights aren't my jam, so I don't do them. I like to do them just enough so it adds back in the shape of what it's supposed to be, but not making it overpowered. So it adds a little bit of the geometry of what's going on, but not anything else from there. That. And also the tactical marines. I'm not spending 2 hours highlighting each and every one of them. I'll highlight them to a standard I'm happy with. And that's usually parade. Then from there, bigger models or characters will get a bit more. Well, that's the problem. They're wondering he didn't die for our sins. He's still sitting around reminding me of them. I'll be going for a bit longer. Again, I'm just going to remind folks that if you haven't already and you are enjoying the content, please like, subscribe, hit that little bell for notifications. We paint every Thursday and Sunday, and we game every Tuesday and Friday. And also, just another little bit of hobby advice. No one's ever going to be looking at your models this close up. You're always going to be looking at them from at least 3 or 4 feet away. And also practice, you know, just paint an hour or 2 every day if you can, and you will get better. Like, I'm nowhere near the level of like Sam Lenz or Ninjon or Manic or any of that. Those guys are masters of their craft, but I appreciate what they do and I learn from what they do. And every time you paint something, you get a little tiny bit better. Just Bob Ross it, folks, you know. I am just taking this time to drink coffee and have a quick smoke before I prepare for the next one. So, as you can see, there is a slight difference between them. Edge highlighted on the highest and most crisp lines. No highlights as of yet. It just adds that little bit of pop to it. Like the weapons are all highlighted. But it's just the armour that needs finishing, really. And maybe a little bit on the pouches on this guy as well. The pouches need just a little bit more. We are still waiting for the heavy intercessors to dry as well. They're sitting in front of me. The wash on them is slightly damp still, so we're just going to carry on highlighting. Might do a character on Sunday. Don't know. EH Marine. I am quite pleased with how the white came out in these shoulder pads. I'm not sure if it's picking it up on camera. But that is grey sear with a blue wash with Drakenhof Nightshade over it. And then dry brushed with a bold titanium white from Pro Acryl. And you get that very clean sort of white, but there's still sort of the dark blue in the recesses to give it some depth. And I started out really hating the colour of these bolt guns as well. I really didn't like them. But now, they've grown on me. A very off sort of red. Yeah, I was really pleased with how they came out. I had to use the world's smallest dry brush on them. This little thing. Little tiny babby dry brush. It's really good though. I thought it'd be useless because it just came with the other dry brushes I got. And yeah, it's great for doing little bits like that and doing the emblem. Like the Aquila. It's just... a bit more. Don't want to oversaturate our brush, but a little bit more paint than that. slightly awry there. Yes, that's why people go. They keep saying that like, oh, 3D printing is going to absolutely destroy like Games Workshop and stuff, but I honestly don't think it will. Just because, yeah, 3D printing is really good for certain things, like different bits and accessories for models, but I don't think you're ever really going to be able to compete with a professionally cast steel or titanium mold that they make. At least not yet. Like, there are some really nice 3D printed bits and bobs out there you can get for your army. I don't think it's quite there yet to threaten the bigger companies. Also, with the tech that they've got, they're probably 5 or 6 years ahead of what we actually know what they have, in all honesty. I doubt very much they're only a few months ahead of what they're doing. Just be bad business. Also, this is why I like paint handles. So you can contort things in this sort of weird way to get the angles you need. Obviously, you don't need to buy paint handles, you can just make them with just like a wooden dowel and some 3M double-sided foam tape. It's probably the easiest way to make a handle. Or blue tack in a paint pot, you know. All sorts of ways you can cobble stuff together. lines to add some shape to them. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not saying 3D printing can't do what the casting stuff does. I just don't think it's quite there yet to threaten them. It's going to need a cleaning off. There's some stuff, there's some paint stuck in the bristles. I'll deal with that later. Painting in these exhaust manifolds. What do I do on that guy? Oh, I did on that side. Okay, right. Just gonna keep. I just want to try and keep them slightly cohesive. I have a terrible habit of doing something on one model and not on the other. Right, we're not going to do that foot because that foot is in the shadow. So weird if we highlighted that. Nearly ran my brush across the entire fucking thing there. Yeah, happy with that. Let's move on to the next one. Clean our brush off first. Get a bit good. Let's repoint that. Yeah, I mean, I've seen what? Heads up, we've detected audio in your stream belonging to someone else. Fuck off. Oh god, Pretzel Rocks, why are you doing this to me? Alright, well, we need to sort that out over the weekend. That'd be fun. Let's just double check that it is on YouTube safe. One sec, guys, sorry about this. Yeah, I literally just got a warning pop up on the screen saying we've detected audio on my stream that belongs to someone else, which is bullshit because I'm using royalty-free stuff. Just check what's going on. Sorry about this, folks. Yeah, weird. Nothing I can do about it right this second anyway. Who's next up on the chopping block? You are, sir. Weird though. Okay, now it's not complaining about it. I think it's something wrong with Pretzel's Rocks, to be honest. So most of the other highlights are done, like the weapon, the leather, the white, the crest. So again, it's just armor. Let's crack on, shall we? We'll deal with this copyright hogwash later. If it keeps being arsy about it, I'll just edit the sound out of it. Well, the music even. A little bit thick there, that's all right. I know I'm breaking my own rule in places saying, you know, don't highlight where the light's not, but some of these edges just look better with it. Breaks the shape up a little bit. I think it's the first time I've ever done any edge highlighting like this on the stream. Usually I'm just fucking around with base colours. Yeah, you would have thought they'd have had a bit more involvement in this, but we have to fuck around and prove that we're not actually using someone else's music now, which is gonna be fun. But it's the price we pay for doing what we do. Some angry eyebrows. Did I do the angry eyebrows on that one? No, I didn't. Oh dear. The other Marines will laugh at him for having no eyebrows. obviously the eye lenses and stuff on them, but yeah. Yeah, I mean it's not super great. I mean, I get the whole fair use of people's property and stuff, and don't nick people's things, but they should have a better system in place for it. I really don't want to have to switch over to using Twitch. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't a little bit to do with Pretzel Rocks dropping the ball as well. But I just, I don't want to think about it, to be honest. I know a lot of people do both. Like they use Twitch for live streaming and then upload the VODs to YouTube and but who knows what the future will bring for us. Shall see. It's a bit thick. Oh shit! I dropped it. I was bound to happen at least once tonight. I'm just catching up the chat, sorry. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably end up talking about the whole possibly live streaming on Twitch and uploading VODs to YouTube. Shoulder does not seem to act it properly at all. Maybe I've not caught the edge properly. A bit better. Like some of these highlights are just almost glaze level of light, so that they're just hinting at the light difference instead of being big old bold thick lines. This brush is getting a bit knackered because it's filling with paint residue. As you can see, the old heavy intercessors are slowly drying. I think on Sunday that's what Ugg and I were talking about. Just like simultaneously casting to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And like just one of us would monitor YouTube, the other one would monitor Twitch, and I mean it probably is quite possible. 1 second. So I just looked up and there was a fucking massive mosquito just sitting on my door staring at me. rubbing its tummy and laughing, going, "Oh, you're next. Bring me Solo and a Wookiee. Oh. Mosquitoes. Let's do one of the Grenadier guys next. Mix up a new batch of this. It's getting a bit. Yeah, it's alright actually. Don't need to mix anymore up. Good old wet palette. Captain Grenadier. Yeah, I'm really enjoying painting Dark Angels. I know Space Marines are very boring, but they're very enjoyable to paint. Apart from the Deathwing. Deathwing can go fuck themselves. Oh, I'm saying that. I can paint Deathwing. Just don't like to. But he's not quite done. I can do it, I just don't like doing it. More of a done one. Right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, highlighting things. Dear sir, your fingers have gone so black it looks like you have frostbite. Gary's actually got fingers again now. Wipe it off. Never happened. Yeah, I mean, could. Or, now that Ug's not here. Oh my god, they're fucking. They've God. Sorry, I'm getting screamed at by YouTube going, we've detected you're using licensed music. Really not. There we go. Oh, I don't think so.
One day we'll be wealthy.
mean, I honestly, no. Sorry. Professor Rocks is just doing my nutting. Right. Be my brush, because no doubt I've been dried in the last 2 hours of me sitting here trying to use it to work properly. Right. I'm starting to get slightly aggravated with it saying, "You're using copyrighted music." I'm really, really not. If I was, I'd be listening to much nicer music than this. There's definitely something going on with it. What was I saying about the Terminators? Oh yeah, I've come up with a better idea. One that stops me from going insane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them green, but paint the helmet a bone colour, because I fucking hate painting the Deathwing. It's just really, really boring. It just ain't my jam, to be honest. I know some people say, "Oh, but they're Deathwing, they've got to be bones." Like, yeah, well, they're my toy soldiers. Paint them how I like. Lifted, which is a little scrape across the edge to show that it's catching the sun slightly. We'll leave the other one because it's dark. Because it's a dark angel. Sorry, I'm putting a fucking camera there. Oh yeah, I forgot. Quite a lot of games have Twitch integration and stuff like that. I mean, it's worth a look, to be honest. Because I have spent most of this goddamn live stream with YouTube shouting at me about using copyrighted bloody music. The angry eyebrows. Hmm. This wasn't like I've highlighted it. Yeah, fuck it. Call it done. I mean, that does actually sound quite cool. I think we'll have a chat about it and at least give it a try at some point. I think because if they're going to keep doing this, and then who knows? It's just getting really fucked. I mean, they're still quite cool. And it would be nice not spending most of the live stream with YouTube screaming at me saying, I'm stealing things. I'm not stealing things, YouTube. You absolute arse. Fingers have gone black again. I must have a blind spot for fingers when I'm painting. The elbow around. Again, sorry if I keep wandering off on the screen of this. It's just some of these angles are a bit tricky to get into. tight, right then. To do that. Fix that better. Still got to do the lenses, so that'll just get fixed when I do that. That's something. Yeah, he's just slowly coming along these. More on the hand. I mean, if YouTube carries on doing this, then it's something we've definitely got to look into, because I'm continuously, like, it's threatening me now with your stream may be temporarily blocked, and I mean, there's not much I can do apart from just kill the music. It is very, very upset with me. It's like, oh, Mr. Zug, you're stealing all of the music. Do you think this is 2005 Pirate Bay? But no, I'm paying for this service to royalty-free music. You're stealing. It's really not. You are a thief and a cancer. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just going to axe the music now, guys. It's very unhappy with me. There is a system of appeal. It's just horrifically long-winded. So apologies, but it's just going to be you, me, and the silence now. Lovely, relaxing smoke before I start this one. Fucking hell, those heavy incestors are just about dry. Oh yeah, it'd be much easier if we had a fucking staff to deal with it. Thank you very much for volunteering, you two. Highlight, shall we? These Marines aren't going to highlight themselves. Only highlight Marine can do that. And we all saw how that ended up. So we're just trying to keep them consistent across the entire squad. And sort of do it in, instead of looking at this entire model, more sort of geometric shapes. And see why people over highlight though. They get a bit carried away with just following the lines around, but really don't need to hit every single line on a model. It's just not how it works. It's way too thick. There you go, much better. Oh, welcome back, Wandrum. I mean, I do think the last 5 minutes were just me complaining about YouTube shouting at me. Threatening to temporarily block my bloody stream. Which, if you ask me, is very uncool of them. If that's paint or just a bit of dust. Putting the angry eyebrows in. Yep. Hey, thanks very much for volunteering, guys. Really appreciate it. There's a very slight change in the shape here. Just a tiny little highlight. Shit, that's got over. Oh, I'll just dump some wash into that later and pretend it never happened. Forget the elbow. The neighbours say will speak ill at me in the next church gathering. Right. How many more have we got left to do? 3. I mean, I could purge this with a bit of hand sanitizer, but I don't really want to destroy the. Don't like doing it to a fucking sable brush. Oh, don't worry about being expensive, man. We plan to pay you with thoughts and prayers. That's how rich people, do stuff, isn't it? Thoughts and prayers. heavy there. Oh well, fix that at some point, or I won't, and I'll just forget about it and pretend it never happened. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do something to help, but I am already sitting down, and it's very difficult. Hmm. Man, don't worry about it. It's the thoughts and prayers thing is just fucking awful. It's literally one of the most bullshit statements anyone can say about anything. Especially if it's someone in a position of power and they're, oh, I'm sending my thoughts and prayers. It's like, or you could actually do something, to like help, not just make empty platitudes about it. Because, it'd be cool if you could like do something useful, not just pander to the fucking cameras. Yeah, I do apologize. I didn't mean to trigger either of you. The angry eyebrows again. Well, I mean, I didn't mean to piss anyone off with that because I know it is the worst fucking thing that they can say because it's literally just them going, "Oh, it's all bad, but I'm not going to do anything." They do it here as well, but to a slightly lesser extent. Here they more or less go, "Yeah, well, we don't really care, you know, it's your problem." But that sounds like a poor person problem to me. So, oh yeah, thanks for that, government. It's really helpful. Get in there. Yeah, that'll do. Pretty sure I'm pretty sure I've seen someone do that. It was like the Angry Marines or something. I just have vague memories of someone doing it. I think Edge Highlight Marine needs them. We'll get some black card and we'll make him some eyebrows. Oh, nice, got a 2-for-1 highlight there. Oh, shit. No, I got it on brown. Oh well. Like I said, tactical marines. I'm not going to break my fucking back trying to get these to be the most dark angels in the world. They'll get up to parade ready and they'll be happy about it. I only really try to go display quality on centerpiece models, like characters and HQs and that sort of thing. So I'd never get anything fucking done if I was trying to do that with the entire army. Um, they um I've seen a couple of people try and actually do the whole stop motion marine sort of cartoon, but I think they got really fucking quickly eviscerated by Games Workshop for doing it. They don't like you infringing on their copyrights. Yep, very, very upset. Hmm. Since we've done this one, little bit of shoulder pad maybe, some petit pois. It ain't pretty, but it's honest work. I understand his chin guard. And the weird little bit back here. That is far too much paint, that brush. Yeah, happy with that. Oh man, Wizards didn't they back down on that though? Wizards of the Coast, when they suddenly realised they couldn't like copyright the entire fucking universe as their own. Something about they were trying to copyright people writing their own stories, even tangentially connected to D&D. Oh, it's always funny when you see a corporation shit their pants like that. And you know, at this point, it's just if people who are still watching, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, if you're enjoying the content of the channel, it really helps us out, folks. And if you're not watching live, just watching us on the VOD, you know, like and subscribe. Feed our egos. I mean, you can never have too much frozen custard, man. So this is the last one we need to do some green highlights on. Just a little tiny bit. I mean, I'm really not a fan of big chunky highlights. Like the armor's blended in like three different shades, from dark down sort of here upwards. And I feel sticking really heavy highlights on it just sort of takes away from that. Yeah, I remember that now. They this is the coast, man. They do love their money though. And I get there's protecting your IP, but then there's also just being a fucking dick about it. I like the fingers. again. Maybe the IRL was slightly too angry. Yeah, shoulder pad. Done. I start rough, but my brain is turned off. Pretty sure on the last couple of these, I have forgotten to do the back of the. Just those little bits. Yeah. That's done. What's about your? Are you done? No, you're not done. You there, boy. Are you done? No. So I forgot to do about half of them. It's fine. I remembered in the end, and that's all that counts. Yeah, I mean, so I was just catching up with the chat. I mean, Tolkien's estate could have pretty much torpedoed all of them, going, actually, this is all mine. Give me your money and fuck off. I've realised there's a little tiny bit on each one. Like, just there. Like a panel that doubles up. So just quickly nip through and grab those. Oh, good. Pistol over that one. It makes almost no difference. It's just the fact that I know it's there. And it'll take me 30 seconds to just run my brush over it. I think that's about it for today, folks, because it is 1 a.m. So, have a quick look at what we've done today. But I'll try to. So, let's grab two of them. We've done lots of edge highlighting on our intercessors, and we've made a big old start on the heavy intercessors. And they've all got angry eyebrows, which is the most important thing, I think. So these are almost done. I don't think I'm going to take the highlights any higher than that, but they need the lenses done and a few little bits and pieces here and there. And these aren't even close to being done. These need a lot of dry brushing and then working. But I am quite happy with them. So I just want to thank both of you for coming. As always, guys, it's hugely appreciated and a pleasure chatting with you. We will, of course, be streaming tomorrow. UG should be about, and we'll be playing probably some Satisfactory tomorrow. So you gents enjoy the rest of your day and or evening, whatever time it is where you are. And I shall catch you all tomorrow. And just for the VOD, thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you've enjoyed the content on the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that little bell for notifications. It really does help us out. And again, guys, really do appreciate it. You always make it a pleasure. So until tomorrow, take it easy. See you later.